guy.
You're not pizza. Who are you guys?
Road trips!
Today on Road Trips, we head south to Klamath Falls to check out the history at the Baldwin Hotel Museum. Vehicle for this episode, 1995 Ford Escort LX wagon. And cast for this edition, myself, Todd, Hilton. And also joining me is Mr. Chris DeBois. The maps are out and the camera's rolling, so now, let's hit the road. And hello everyone, welcome to this edition of Nowhere Videos Road Trips. I'm Todd Hilton.
I'm Chris DeBois.
And in this edition, we're going to be taking you to a historic museum. It was actually a hotel in the city of Klamath Falls, Oregon. It's called the Baldwin Hotel Museum. We're not exactly sure which...
Well, yeah, which Baldwin it is. It could be Michael,
let's see, Alec, Stephen, one of those, we're not exactly
hundreds
sure.
of them. It could be anybody.
And I don't know, maybe it's a family operation.
That it might be.
Well, we're going to find out when we get there. We're going to have a guided tour, hopefully throw in an interview there. And from what I understand, it's almost 100 years old. And they've got period furnishings, other, I guess, historical artifacts, all different things to look at. It's like a 4-story building. Sounded pretty interesting, so we're going to check that out. We're actually starting our trip here in, we're just off Highway 97 in a little spot. I have no idea where we're at. It's a little
clearing in the midst of all the trees.
It's pretty much
basically it.
Yeah, through this section of Highway 97, there's a whole lot of nothing and plenty of it. So,
yeah.
As soon as we figure out exactly where we're at, we'll put the map up and we'll show you.
Yeah, so when we get out of these bushes.
Yeah, as soon as we get out of the surrounding shrubbery here, we'll
get on there.
We'll get on there, and we'll get on the road. All right, folks, we are off. We are driving. We're currently... Currently heading south on Highway 97. That's about all we know.
Yeah, right at this moment.
Right at this particular moment. Again, as soon as I figure out exactly where we're at, then we'll throw up the map.
Mile marker 221.
Which means nothing.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely nothing.
Well, you asked.
It's rather warm today.
Yes, that it is.
Why am I wearing the ski jacket then?
Yeah. You're stupid.
You know what? You're stupid. Thanks.
That's great.
You know, there's not a heck of a lot to look at through this section of Highway 97.
Yeah.
It kind of goes on and on. Just road through the trees and the bushes.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
I mean, you're kind of out of civilization here. Every once in a while, you see like a service road or something.
Yeah.
That's about it. That's great.
Definitely isn't a lot going on around here.
No.
But anyway, as stated, we're off to the Baldwin Hotel Museum.
Yes.
In which case it basically has furnishings and other such items from the early 1900s.
Yeah, I've always kind of been a history buff. You know, I like historical buildings and artifacts and stuff. Kind of seeing those items from yesteryear. You know, kind of goes back to that old west stuff. You know.
Yeah.
Ranch.
Well, you don't get a whole heck of a lot of the old west style stuff A lot of it is mostly miners and how they settled the towns and, where the towns came from.
Yeah, in this part of the country, yeah. You really start seeing that down in
Arizona,
Nevada, the southwest.
That's why you stop at Tombstone.
Oh yes, that is a place I've been wanting to go to for a long time. And who knows, it may happen.
It could.
And in our spin-off, Road Trips Adventures, we may just take you to such a place. Yeah, it's been one of those things, that's kind of, it's historical. It's a tourist trap, but it's all, it's cool at the same time. You got the OK Corral.
Well, which is just a sign that says OK Corral.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's pretty much it.
But they have like actors that reenact the shootout, and you got that. There's a.
Yeah. Speaking of which, we were talking earlier on the way up, wanting to visit, Gettysburg.
Yeah.
Do the actual reenactment of the Civil War. Be a part of actual history right there. But that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
When you actually get hands-on involved in history, that's when it's more interesting.
Yeah,
But when you're sitting back looking at pictures of people that, it's like, who cares? I didn't know those people.
That's living history. And my folks had actually gotten to go to Gettysburg here a few years back. I was jealous.
Yeah, I would be.
Yeah. I tell you what, that's a place where, I don't care if you believe in ghosts or not, you're going to feel them. In a place where so many people died, you're going to feel it. See, and that's the thing about the East Coast. It's a lot older than the West Coast. It was settled a lot earlier, so you get a lot more of that history. Stuff going back to like the 1600s and stuff.
Yeah.
So they got a lot more history over there than we do here. Here we have, we have the Old West and stuff like that. Whereas there, they have, they got stuff like. You want to go to like Salem, Massachusetts or something.
Yeah, anywhere in Massachusetts.
That's what I'm talking about.
Boston, you have all the stuff that happened there, the Boston Tea Party, all the, it just goes on and on and on.
It all comes back to that whole national treasure thing,
Yeah.
I love that kind of stuff. Someday I hope to be able to see, some of these sites. That's a road trip. But actually, I think I'd probably be flying on that one.
That's the only way to get there.
Yeah. Not that I don't love traveling cross-country.
Spend a week and a half in a car. There's
exactly.
some fun. Yeah.
Especially when you got kids, that's a little bit long of a drive.
Yeah.
Tombstone, we'll probably drive that. But East Coast, nah. We'll fly. So now we're watching the mile markers here. Are they getting bigger or smaller?
They're getting bigger.
They're getting bigger.
We started out at 221. We're at 229 right now.
So I wonder. Normally they count from a big city.
Yes.
They can't be from Portland though, because maybe it is.
I think it might be.
I don't know. It seems like we're farther away from Portland than that though. Wouldn't you think?
You think? Could be Salem.
Yeah, it could be Salem. I am not exactly sure.
That's a good question.
Now, Salem, Massachusetts, we're a good, 3,000 miles away. It's been a long drive.
Yeah.
Because we're about 6 hours from home, give or take. Just to come down here to do this, it's a long drive.
Yeah.
But that's, that kind of contributes to this third season. We've traveled more miles in this third season than probably the first two seasons put together.
That it is.
We've put in our time.
Hey, is there anybody coming? Can we pass this boat?
I don't know, because I can't see. That's the thing. You get up. You look off into the distance, and you get a hot day like this.
No, all you see is the.
And you get that
water look, that mirage of water.
And it's hard to tell where the road is. In fact, I'm looking in the mirror behind me here, and it looks the same way. It looks like the road just disappears into a lake.
Yeah. See heat radiating off the street.
Yeah.
Road, whatever. Highway.
Yeah, believe me, if I could feel that I could pass this guy,
Oh, okay.
I would, but it's, like I said, the road, I can only see the road so far. We still have not seen a sign, have we?
Not since we were 62 miles.
Yeah, not since before we started. What's this?
Oh, hey. It's a chrome shop. Out in the middle of nowhere.
Cow?
That's a cow.
No, it's a horse. That
That's
is
a cow.
one big...
That's a cow.
Is it a cow?
That's a cow.
It's like a cow horse.
It's a bald cow.
Bald cow.
Has no ears. And no tail. It's a cow. Moo.
Oh?
Moo.
Oh.
Moo.
Ooh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, it was big.
Yes.
Come here, cow.
A cow had to have stood 15 feet tall.
That's big cow.
That's a cow on stilts, man, I tell
Yeah.
you what.
We really are driving, folks. You know, it looks like the same thing. We've got this truck.
Yeah. Oh, I was just seeing what they see.
Oh. Got the same background. We still have this truck in front of us. You know, most accidents are caused by... Can't be too careful out there.
I say that you're more likely to die on the way.
Yeah, you're more likely to die close to home than... So out here we'd be fine.
Pretty much, yeah. Are we throwing caution to the wind on this one?
Yeah. Well, it kind of goes uphill here in a second.
That's
But again,
great.
I mean, this is like the gutless wonder here.
Well, if it goes up a hill, chances are it's going to split off into two. It usually does.
Pedal faster! Woohoo!
You may pass.
Passing side.
Driving side, yeah.
Yeah, pass on the right. Great.
And we did 7 miles just like that.
Yeah. Woohoo!
Unless it's
Okay.
going up exponentially or something.
Yeah. At least now we don't have to. Folks don't have to look at the back of that truck.
Yeah. You can look at nothing.
You can look at nothing. You can look at the back of my head. Ah! This place rocks. Can you not hit those? What do you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's getting annoying. That's some heavy metal there.
That it is.
Now, you know, don't I say this every time? You know, they got to be tearing up something every time we do a road trip.
Well, they know
this
we're
section
coming
here rocks.
through. Yes.
That rocks right there. That's what I'm talking about.
Can you
And
realize
that
the
machine
damage?
back there scoops rocks. Oh,
Yes. That really scoops rocks.
that scoops rocks.
That scoop rocks.
Oh, hay.
Yeah, there's
Up
more
there.
hay.
More hay.
More hay.
More hay. You know, you see equipment up on the hill, like just above you, and it's like, I hope they're firmly secured.
Yeah.
Help!
Or the rock that's holding it up there
check
doesn't
that
give
out,
way.
man.
Yeah. It's kind of
Power lines.
Kind of got a good view going on here.
Yeah.
That Todd in front.
You know, I'm one of those people, I can't multitask and only do one thing at a time.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
trying
the
to
way
check
I am.
out the view, and here I am.
I have to look out the window to check scenery, but as soon as you look out, your arm goes to one side.
Yeah, your arm usually goes
Veers off to one side.
to one side. I mean, some people, it's the direction they're looking. Others, like
It's
me,
the opposite direction.
I usually tend to, you know, if I'm looking over here, I'll veer off to the right here.
Collier Park,
Collier Park.
Logging Museum, and Day Old Bread.
What?
That was
Something like
day
that.
something.
Oh, here we go. Tink, tink,
Yeah.
tink. Slightly different sound. Will you quit hitting those? Tink, tink, thunk, thunk.
Yeah. As you repeatedly dent up your hood.
Yeah, and it's only on one side, you know.
Oh yeah. Spring Creek Ranch.
Okay.
I don't know if that helps anything at all.
Possibly. Well, who knows? It might be on the map. Actually,
I didn't see a hotel either. I just seen a sign. Okay.
let me look at that map. If it's on that map, we can go to the map.
Oh, hey, that's good.
You are here.
Shing.
You know, that would be convenient if we actually open the paper map and we have the car blinking on there like we do on our video map, and it shows you are here, you know. So
we're coming from...
We're somewhere in here.
There's Modoc Point, Alagoma. Oh,
okay, here's
Algoma.
Collier State Park and Logging Museum.
Dude, it ain't on here.
If it's a state park, it should be on the map.
The closest thing I've seen is White Line Reservoir. I don't know if it's White Line Reservation or Reservoir.
Reservation or Reservoir, one of the two.
But,
oh, this is good. We have no idea.
Yeah, the two towns we were supposed to pass through.
I haven't seen them. Or either we haven't gotten there yet.
Chiloquin, whatever.
Okay, yeah, here's Collier State Park we're just now passing. Maybe we're not as far as I think we are.
There's a state forest.
Actually, no, we've got to be somewhere up here because we haven't passed Klamath Lake yet.
Oh, we haven't?
No, we haven't hit Klamath Lake, so we got to be somewhere in here. Or wait, no, somewhere in here, excuse me. I'm looking at the wrong section here.
Okay, well, see, it takes 97, and this is the junction where it catches up here. So we should be past here.
And we haven't, I don't think we've hit Chiloquin or whatever that is.
Well, I didn't see a sign for even Modoc Point, which was on the way.
Okay, folks, your guess is as good as mine.
Modoc?
It's Modoc.
Modoc? Okay,
yeah.
Murdoch?
Murdoch. Yeah, I have a strange feeling we've done that before.
Yeah.
It's amazing how many times Murdoch comes in into road trips.
Well, there's always a small town of Murdoch in any
given state.
Yeah. And it's always out in the middle of nowhere.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, according to the map, we got a long ways to go.
Chiloquin and Fort Klamath.
We got that far.
About that far? About what? Inch and a half? Okay, let's go to the map. We are just passing the junction for Chiloquin and Fort Klamath State Park. Actually, Fort Klamath was another one that I was checking out. I think they're actually closed for the year now. But it's actually a Civil War era fort.
Wow.
Of course, they have, Civil War era, artifacts. They've got grave sites of one of the captains, and a couple people that were under his command. So
hey, civilization.
Cool. Yeah. 26 miles to go to Klamath Falls, or K Falls, as some people call it.
Yeah. Falls.
Falls. Actually, that's another thing I was reading up on. It's kind of funny because the town is called Klamath Falls, but there is no Klamath Falls. There used to be, until they built a dam, and the water level rose, and of course it buried the dam. The same thing happened in the Dalles. They had I think it was called Wishram Falls, something like that. And when they built the Dalles Dam, it covered it up. It was no longer there. I'd be kind of interested to know exactly where Klamath Falls used to be. Yeah, we are getting into the territory. I'm starting to recognize the landscape here. I tell you, when you hit Klamath Lake, it's huge, and we'll be on the lakeside for quite a while. And it's coming up here actually in the next few miles.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big lake. In sections of it, it looks like they actually built the road right through the lake. Like, is this thing gonna sink or what?
Yeah.
I don't feel comfortable with this. If you mow your lawn and you find a dead car, you might be, holy crap, man. I'm serious. I'm not just joking around. I mean, we are in redneck country. Thing is, though, when you live this far out in the sticks
or bushes,
you're gonna have dead cars. That's a given. I don't care who you are. And everybody's got to have a couple, you know. I think it's state law down here.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, here, go climb a hill.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Coming down ought to be a blast.
Yeah, I'll get right on that. Okay, we are running parallel with Klamath Lake. Upper Klamath Lake. Yeah, this lake is huge. I think it's the biggest one in the state. Okay, we are 17 miles away from Klamath Falls. Let's go to the map. Here we are, top of Klamath Lake. Said just running parallel with it, so we're going to be running with this lake here for quite a while. Again, like I said, I believe Klamath Lake is the largest lake in Oregon. It's very, very long. We must be getting close.
Yeah, hit the lights.
Oh,
we've hit lights.
We've hit lights.
Which isn't even on the map, by the way.
Right. So
Klamath,
now would
Klamath Travel Inn.
Would this make this the City of Lights? Sorry. Oh, at 283, so it's actually dropping back down. I think some of it...
Well, you're in a bigger town.
You're in a bigger town, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's for sure. You hit small towns that are far away from the city. Yeah, you're going to pay for gas.
Okay, that was it. We're on our way home. Oh.
Yep. Well, that's it. Okay, well, I haven't seen anything that said welcome to Klamath Falls, but I think we are in Klamath Falls.
Well, that's not possible. We hit lights first.
We hit the City of Lights first. City of Lights.
Unless it's like a pre-town. Yeah, this has got to be it.
Yeah. Yeah, been here, done this. Well, been through it anyway.
Oh, hey, the state police are here.
State police next, right? All right. No, now we've been in the City of Trucks.
Klamath Falls.
Okay, here we go.
There we are.
One more time, folks. Go to the map. Here we are. Now entering Klamath Falls. Woohoo!
Okay, now we're looking for Main Street.
We are looking for 31 Main Street.
31?
31 Main Street.
Wow.
Well, yeah, Main Street is probably the first street put into the town, so...
It's going to be the main drag, I'll say that. Yeah, Klamath Falls,
okay,
next 3 exits.
Next 3 exits, but yet it said welcome to Klamath Falls. Go figure.
Klamath Falls and Reno.
Woohoo! All right, folks, we're going to Reno.
Yeah.
Ollie'd kill me.
Yeah.
You know, we should do that. Like I was, talking earlier. We should, you, me, Holly, and Sam. We should just say, screw it. We're going to Reno.
Yeah, we should.
Yep. We're actually thinking about going back this next year.
Yeah, Sam hasn't been to Reno. She's the only one that hasn't.
Oh, really? Yeah. I like Reno. I mean, it's, people say, once you go to Vegas, you never go back to Reno. But I don't know. I like Reno. It's why they call it the biggest little city on earth. But it's, I think it's a cool town.
Okay, if you want a suggestion, go that way.
Portland Street. Want me to take Portland? No, that can't be right. No, there's a big intersection that comes up here.
Oh, City Center.
City Center, okay. It's
yeah,
got to be off of that.
There's nothing
now,
that
here's
says...
another sign, welcome to Klamath Falls. Okay.
Yeah, there should be a sign that says historical.
That's what I'm thinking.
Cooks, what are we looking for? What's it called? Okay, that must be a school. Yeah.
What's this place called?
I don't know,
Baldwin, okay. There's a building. Oh, what is that? I can see a couple of buildings over there. Behind the tree, way back over there,
yeah,
I see a building that looks old.
Tree in the way, so. All
right, folks.
Yeah, my guess that you'd want to go this way.
I think we are almost there. I vaguely recognize this. This should be the historic district. Okay,
Visitor Center.
Strange.
Alright, follow our nose.
Yeah, it always knows. No, I think we're on the right track because this Like I said, this is the business district. This is the city center. All right, folks, we have arrived. The Baldwin Hotel Museum here in downtown Klamath Falls. That's a big building.
I got 3 initiative.
And a staircase going up the side there. Okay. Alright, here we are at the main entrance here. Okay. Alright folks, we're going to take a step inside and check it out. Okay, we're inside the Baldwin Hotel Museum, and we're speaking to Gloria, who actually works behind the counter here and helps do the tours. And we're going to find out some of the history on the hotel. It actually is very interesting. It's gone through quite a few changes over the years, I guess.
Very definitely. It started out in 1905. The building was built by George Baldwin, and he was an entrepreneur and early settler here in Klamath. He opened this up as a hardware store here in the lobby, and then on the 3rd and 4th floors there were small apartments and offices available for rent. The place was converted to a hotel in 1911 and ran as a hotel through 1977.
Wow.
During that time there were 3 owners. The Baldwins were the original. In 1923, Andy and Cordy Moore were the second owners until 1951, when their daughter and her husband, the Joneses, they took over up until the closing of the Baldwin in 1977. Since that time, it has been a museum. There are 47 guest rooms. All of them are true to the period and true to the building. We have a lot of the old artifacts and clothing, the dinnerware. And for some of the offices on the higher floors, like the Bureau of Reclamation, when they came to town to do the irrigation system that we have here in the basin, they rented quite a number of rooms here at the Baldwin to use as office space. Well, Vera Jones, who is the last owner of the hotel, she and her brother and sisters all grew up here. While their parents owned the hotel, they each had a guest room as a bedroom of their own. And they not only grew up here, apparently they also served as the staff, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they served.
So they lived in it and helped run it, too.
Absolutely.
It's a family business.
Especially like in our high school days. I know Vera, she not only came home from school, did her schoolwork, and had dinner with the family, but I'm sure she was one of those responsible for probably doing the laundry, maybe changing the bedding, or at least doing the dusting through the hotel, and that kind of thing. But yeah, Vera definitely wanted the hotel preserved. They had an offer to sell it to a hotel chain, but when she found out the building was going to be torn down, she said, oh no.
Yeah.
So the county came along and promised to save the place. So she didn't make quite the same profit she would have otherwise.
Right.
But she knew it was going to be a museum. She grew up here. She ran the hotel.
Yeah.
It was
Wouldn't
definitely...
want some just on accident, and so sounds like we'll be lucky enough to see some of those things today.
2 examples of that. One example unintentionally probably, was Maud Baldwin, George's daughter. She was a nationally known photographer, and we've got about 2,000 of her negatives.
Oh, wow.
And they show Klamath life in the early 1900s, pictures of Crater Lake as well as various areas here in Klamath.
Wow.
She did it because that was her interest in her business, but we're the beneficiaries of that. We now have all of those negatives and can learn a lot from her. The other thing is, there was a law in the books here in Oregon. If a hotel guest couldn't pay their room rent, they were free to leave, but their luggage and possessions stayed behind.
Oh, really?
Well, that helps us as a museum, because
yeah.
when the volunteers opened up some of that unclaimed luggage, there were personal belongings, whether they be clothing or books or toiletry items. Some of those are on display here now. We know about that.
Just priceless treasures
Absolutely.
from yesteryear.
Absolutely. Now, some of the pieces of furniture are original to the building when George and Maude were in the building. Other pieces have been added over the years, but they are all items from the ownership of the three families of the hotel or the building as a whole.
Okay. All right. Sounds like we got a lot to look at. So
Oh, we've got 4 floors.
4 floors. Yeah. So that's a lot of history to go through. So why don't we get started? All right. We're upstairs in the mezzanine, and you're telling us we have some luggage left behind.
Right. That Oregon law that I mentioned where hotel guests who couldn't pay their room rent, they were free to leave, but their luggage remained behind. Well, a few of our artifacts came from this room. We've stored all the old luggage. We have the old hotel sign in here as well. But when the volunteers back in the late 70s opened up the room to see what was in it, they also opened the luggage. Some of it was empty, because typically a guest would empty their clothing into the closet or the dresser drawers and put the luggage in here. The luggage that was filled with clothing, those were the people who apparently couldn't pay way back when. So it just stacked up in here, and it became part of our first display pieces. Some of the old items.
Made that easy.
And now what I'll do is I'll take you down to Vera Jones's room. She was the third and final owner of the hotel. She's the one who sold it to the county. But when she was a teenager here and her parents owned the hotel, this was her bedroom. This would have been Vera Jones's room. She was the prom queen her senior year in high school, so we have her.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, Oh, you've got the crown too. Okay. Yeah, I see. Now is this her?
That's her. That's Vera. It says on the sign that she was the May Queen. May Queen. And typically proms are held in May. So I'm thinking May Queen, we've now transitioned into the term prom queen.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, right.
Yeah, so that's the crown that she wore. But this room is fairly typical of most of the guest rooms. It has a sink as well as a wood-burning stove. And that's very typical of all the guest rooms.
Wow, and this is all original. I mean, it looks brand new.
Absolutely. Well, we do a little dusting. And
Oh yeah, that always helps. But yeah,
absolutely. Another interesting piece of furniture that we have in here is known as a Cadillac desk.
Cadillac desk. It was actually made by Cadillac Detroit.
Car company. Right.
Really?
Yeah. It's a little writing desk. The center pulls out here, and you've got your pen placement and room for ink, and then you can store your private papers in here. But we've got about 22 of these, and they're throughout the hotel, and they're in the guest room, because long before computers and typewriters, everything was handwritten.
Right.
And what makes it unique is the fact that the Cadillac Car Company produced the furniture. It's my assumption that the Cadillac Car Company didn't know that they could make a profit selling automobiles back in the early 1900s.
Right, yeah, because they
Cars were
started,
brand
yeah,
new.
1903.
Right.
Yeah.
So very sure, whether it was a business or a home, everybody needed furniture.
So they kind of did it as a side deal.
Right.
So yeah.
So they'd make
because
money-
cars were new back then. So yeah.
Right. They'd make money one way or the other.
Yeah, I'd never heard of that.
Obviously, they make money on cars, so they no longer make furniture. You won't find
Right, exactly. Yeah, I have never heard of
They
that.
actually have their seal
No
or
kidding.
sticker on here.
Yeah, get a shot of that. That's amazing. So what they do? They only did it for what? Just 2 years, it looks like.
For 2 or 3 years, not very long.
Cadillac Cabinet Company, Detroit, Michigan. No kidding.
Now, in building this building, for a lot of years, this 4-story building was the tallest building in Klamath Falls for quite a number of
Okay,
years.
yeah, because I heard that and it's like, no, wait a minute, no, that's more stories than 4, you know. So it used to be, okay.
It used to be. But one thing that he did that I find interesting, as we go through the building, you'll be able to see the conduit for the electrical wiring, as well as the plumbing for the individual sinks that are in each room.
Oh, okay.
And George,
Right, because back then they didn't hide it inside the walls,
Right.
really.
Well, that was part of his marketing ploy.
Really?
Because if you think about it, in 1905, how many people had indoor plumbing or electricity?
Not many.
So
The wealthy.
right.
Yeah.
So by having these things exposed, when you came into this building as a customer, you were in a very modern facility.
Oh,
You didn't have the kerosene lantern, indoor plumbing. Of course, there's only one bathroom on every floor, and we share it, but it's still indoors.
It's still indoor, right.
Absolutely. So these were modern things in the early 1900s, and George was there. He had them, and he's left them on display, obviously, over all of these years.
Yeah.
Today, we hide all that behind the walls. For our Victorian room, our parlor, we've got the false front, fire front.
Okay,
along
so it
with
looks
some of the
like-
fancier
right.
chairs. Right. Now, the couple who are on the wall, they are another prominent family here in Klamath. Their last name is Willits, and there is a building a little further on the other end of Main Street that's called the Willits Building. I don't have a lot of their history, other than I know the portraits are connected to the building down the street.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That's the family that would
But
have
this
started
might be-
that.
Yeah, this might be something you'd have in your parlor, formal pictures of either the current owners or maybe your parents, something like that. Now, one thing you'll notice as you go through the hotel is all the nice woodwork in the doorways and the windows and all of that.
The moldings, yeah.
But then in the guest rooms, you're going to notice these wardrobes that are kind of crammed in the corner. They're just two-sided little add-ins to the individual guest rooms. And
Okay.
yeah, and they don't look as fancy or as formal or as permanent as the rest of the room and the structure and everything. And the reason had to do with property tax. Owners are assessed based on the number of rooms in a building or in their home. Well, rooms are defined as having 3 solid walls. Well, if you think about being a hotel owner...
3 solid walls with a door, is that?
Right.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, so if you think about being a hotel owner, that's a lot of rooms and a lot of property tax. So
Yeah.
when you need to provide wardrobe space for your hotel guests, it's much better or cheaper for you as the owner to have the 2-sided wardrobes tucked in a
Yeah.
corner.
Okay.
It serves
As opposed to having the closet.
Right.
Okay.
It serves the purpose. The hotel guests have somewhere they can hang up their clothing, but it saves you money because it doesn't meet the room definition. So your
Right.
property taxes are, mitigated a little bit by virtue of that. But as we go through the guest rooms, you'll notice, and they're not all tucked in the same corner because the shape of each room, window placement, where are we going to put the
A little
bed?
bit different, yeah.
Yeah, so they change from room to room.
Yeah, it depends on what, like you said, what corner of the building it's on. So,
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Huh.
Now, as you look through this particular doorway, with all of the doors,
I just now noticed that goes clear down there.
right, we've taken the doors off this series of rooms, and it gives you a real great view all the way through. All of these rooms have multiple door openings, the majority of which lead to your neighbors,
Right.
but there is one door in every room that will take you directly to the hallway without going through a neighbor's
Right.
room. But, yeah, we've set them up differently. This was our parlor. We've got a ladies' apartment, a gentleman's apartment, and then our gentleman's library. And we can go ahead and walk all the way through here. if
Oh,
you
okay.
wanna-
Yeah, sure. Okay, so this would be a ladies'
Right. We've got this
apartment,
set up
okay.
a little more feminine, just by virtue of the clothing and some of the cover pieces here. And this room is a little more typical of the guest room. It's got the brass bed in addition to the sink and the wood-burning stove. But now, in this particular room, we've got 4 doors, one of which gets you to the hallway.
right,
The other 3, if you like your neighbors, you can open the other doors.
Right. So now this one has a sink in it. That's
Yeah, and all the guest
was that
rooms-
typical of really?
Yes.
Because I'd never seen that in this type of a room where it, where the the bathrooms were separate, and usually
Yeah, in George's time, at the time he built this building, there's one main bathroom on every floor, so everybody shares it. Now, during the night, all the rooms are provided chamber pots.
okay. The gentleman's room is pink.
Yeah.
And
Now-
not only that, it's bigger. It's not
Uh,
really.
Well, I say when you've got a different floor plan to work with, it kind of.
And I don't know that there is a standard size room, because depending upon which floor you're on, the rooms and the shape of them do change.
Yeah, I was kind of noticing it was exactly backwards from this one. Okay.
And so far as the colors are concerned, these are pretty true to the original. Vera Jones was obviously still alive at the time this transitioned from being an active hotel into being a museum. And the early volunteers obviously took her advice and her memories and everything. So if the colors are not exact, they're as close as we can get to what was here, at least during her time spent in the hotel.
Actually, one thing I do know that actually my wife told me is that in the Victorian era, paint colors represented wealth. If you had bright colors, you could tell that was somebody that was pretty well off, as opposed to just some house or whatever that was just white, plain.
Yeah, white seemed to be the milk paints and all. The white seemed to be the common color. So we have a gentleman's personal items here. These are garters to hold up his socks. We've got the celluloid collars, so if he needed to dress up and go to town, he could put on the collar, the tie, then his jacket, of course. Pocket watch. Now, this particular room actually turns out to be the most expensive room in the hotel.
Really?
What makes it more expensive is not the size, but the fact that it has direct access to the bathroom for this floor.
Oh, okay. And you pay more for that. You pay for convenience, yes.
Exactly. That's exactly what you're paying for. This is the only room without a chamber pot.
And so this goes, and that's directly straight through, or?
Right. If you go
Oh, that is right there. Okay, okay.
If you go through the door at the opposite end of the bathroom, then you will be back in the main hallway.
Okay,
So
okay,
that's
right.
Everybody
Else,
point.
but you have your own door when you're in this room.
So if you're willing to pay more and stay in this room, you have the convenience during the nighttime hours. However, during the day, that still is the only bathroom on the floor.
Okay, just a question about how much did the rooms go for on average?
Okay, in 1977, I believe the price of this room was $12.50. The majority of the rooms, I think, were about $9, give or take a little bit, for the other rooms.
And the price pretty much stayed the same throughout?
Oh, well, initially, I know George Baldwin rented some of the rooms. Some were only 50 cents, others might have been a dollar, But in 1977, this particular room was $12.50, to the best of my knowledge.
In 77, wow.
Yeah. And the library.
Yeah. Now this, since we did the parlor down at the opposite end, rather than look like a guest room, we've turned this into a library. Okay. But the books that are on the shelves here all belong to Andy Moore. He was the second owner of the hotel. The other thing that belonged to him was the chess set. Oh, wow. Andy loved to play chess in the evenings, and running a hotel, you have, and particularly with the guys who lived here for a number of years, I'm sure he had a lot of competition and shared entertainment in the evenings. Now, the third floor is the largest floor in the building. It takes up more square feet than any of the others. Wow. The room we're in now was rented by Herbert Ballard. He was an English gentleman. He passed away, and that was in 1968. But what Herbert left behind are some of his radios, the television set, and the cameras sitting on top of it all belong to Herbert. And the photo albums that are on the bed, these are pictures that Herbert took, and he developed them in his very own darkroom, which is also his clothes closet. Huh. He'd empty the closet and use that as his darkroom to develop his pictures.
There's just enough room to stand up in there, and you got a little work table there. Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah, but Herbert was a single gentleman, never married. We do know he had a sister in England, but the Baldwin Hotel was his home.
Yeah. A lot bigger than it looks from the outside.
Oh, yeah. Well, see, it's built on a hillside, so every level extends further back than the one above it. So.
I seen on one of the pictures they had the stairway that led up to the third floor from the ground level. Do they still have that?
Yeah, it's on the outside of the building.
Yeah, we passed that.
Well, it looked a lot different. It looked like it was a different building altogether.
Yeah, well, this is where reclamation is tucked in. Of the two rooms that we've dedicated to them, this one has more of their artifacts in it.
Look at that. Now, what are these boxes here in the
Okay, the
closet?
boxes are bookkeeping, accounting, expenses, checks written. It's the accounting records for the Bureau of Reclamation. Also, some of the architectural plans for the various lumber mills that were in the area. The Yawana Box Company is a major industry here, or was, but we have their blueprints as well. But Bureau of Reclamation, they were the federal agency that came to the basin to design and develop our canal system, our irrigation system that we have. On the third and fourth level of the hotel, rather than just have an ongoing display of guest rooms, we've taken the opportunity to turn the rooms into displays from local stores and former businesses, things that have happened in Klamath's past. The room we're in now is designed to look like a general store. So if you needed any food items or kitchen utensils, a coffee grinder, pressure cooker, spices or coffee, maybe some cereal, some cabbage slice boards, whatever you might need for your kitchen, we've got it here in our general store.
Huh. What amazes me is you don't realize how far back some of the major brand names go back. And you're seeing here, Kellogg's, Rice Krispies, Ritz crackers, stuff like that. It's like they've been around forever.
Right.
Wow.
And then there's some things on display that have been around in my lifetime, which now makes me part of the display of the antiques.
Yeah, you're almost a collection.
Yeah.
Although there are other things that really have not changed a whole lot.
That's true.
Pressure cookers,
right.
About the same.
They're still heavy and enormous.
Yep. Yep.
I don't use one. So,
we got a gum dispenser. It actually dispenses the entire pack of gum.
right.
Huh.
We've got an old ice box back here that's wood with the metal insert.
Oh, wow. Huh.
And then the money that we have framed just right above it, that's from the Confederate States of America.
Whoa.
Now we're talking.
They must have put the shorter people up here, didn't they?
You'll notice when I was talking about ceilings that
Rich.
you can actually touch.
Now it kind of slopes up there. You get towards the front of the
Right,
building.
the front of the building is higher than the back. The roof line slopes downhill. And I'm assuming most of that has to do with rain and snow, for it to all disappear as opposed to being a flat top. Now Maud's corner of the building is back here. There's only like 6 or 7 rooms up here. It's definitely smaller.
Oh, wow.
But this is part of the last little area that Maud used as her studio. And these cameras were used by Maud Baldwin. These, as well as the one that's down in the lobby. All 3 of the old cameras that we have on display are Maud's prior possessions. But as her photography business got smaller, a lot of that had to do with the fact that she was running the hotel. Once her father passed away, she ran the hotel, took care of her mom. So photography just didn't have the priority in her life.
Right.
So being kind of tucked away up on the 4th floor, that's why her things are all up here now. Now, Maud, in addition to running the hotel, having her photography studio, she also had a milliner shop. Milliner means that you make ladies' hats.
Oh, okay.
So that's what this particular display is about. Now, all of these hats are not true to her time period. This just gives you a display with that flavor of what her shop may or may not have looked like. These hats are all newer than anything Maud would have made.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I see there, some that were actually in the hat boxes.
Right.
Wow.
Right. These are all succeeding Maud.
Huh.
She also, Maud Baldwin, she owned her own automobile. And I'm assuming it's because her brother was an Oldsmobile dealer in Lakeview.
Ah, okay.
I'm making the assumption the car she owned was an
Probably
Oldsmobile
Oldsmobile.
bought from her
Yeah.
brother. But in the early 1900s, for a woman, a single woman to have
that's
an
unheard of.
automobile.
That is
She
totally
did,
unheard
yeah.
of. Wow.
Here's her dark room back here. And again, you'll notice out, I mean, we're back to the short side of the building here.
Far cry from Herbert's facility.
Yes,
Downstairs,
absolutely. She had quite a bit more space than Herbert
Yeah. Oh,
had.
wow.
Now this,
We got cameras.
yeah. Now, just like the hats, the cameras are all newer than anything that Maud would
Right,
have used.
exactly, yeah, because
But
these are more modern.
this display is a loan to us. The other end of Main Street, we have a camera shop called Leo's. And this is Leo's collection of cameras. And they've offered them to us, at least on loan anyway, to display them. And it's just a variety of cameras through the various decades and the progression, how they've become fancier. If Maud could come back and check out what's happened to cameras.
Yeah.
Because if you look at how big her cameras are and the stands
Oh,
that they're
right.
on and everything,
Yeah.
and to haul those anywhere. And I mean, she not only had her business here, she took her cameras out and about. The 2,000 negatives that we have down at the main museum, I mean, they show you Klamath, they show you Crater Lake, they show you the logging industry.
Wow.
Maud was involved in all of that. She took pictures of it. I mean, we know as much as we know.
Yeah.
We can actually see it, not just
Exactly,
hear it
yeah.
or read about it, but
Yeah.
we can actually see it thanks to her.
Yeah, that's great. I mean,
Yeah.
It's like she had the foresight to capture history as it was happening, you know, so...
She was definitely interested in life in the area
Yeah.
and enjoyed her hobby or her profession, but we are the definite beneficiaries of everything that she did.
Here we've got the man himself, Senator George Baldwin, the gentleman that actually built the building here. Kind of hard to see. I don't know if there's going to be a good angle. Yeah, apparently this this whole area down here was the hardware store ran by Mr. Baldwin. Yeah, here's a shot of that's an early photograph of the hotel. Looks like there was a bank right next to the building, which, as far as I know, is no longer there because there's a street that runs up right through here. So that's definitely not there. The staircase is still here, and I don't know. The building itself doesn't look that much different. Looks like it still had the stained glass here in the front. It looks like it did. We got more photographs here in the end of the lobby. Again, more end of the town. Yeah, more historical photographs. Now check this out. Can they even take pictures like this anymore? Okay, so this photograph here is Klamath Falls in 1910.
Which
So-
one's that? The one I'm looking at?
The one we're looking at, yeah, 1910. Baldwin Hotel. Okay, here's a couple of photographs. Check this out, dude. Is it just me? Yeah, get a shot of this. Is it just me, or does Maud look like Kathy Bates? You see that? She looks like Kathy Bates, dude. I'm not kidding. Kathy Bates in Titanic. Yeah. Wow. Oh, look at this, man. I wasn't, you know, when we were standing here doing the interview, I wasn't even paying attention. Here's some more photographs. There's Mr. Baldwin there. More photographs of the hotel. Here's the lobby. Here's where we're standing right now. Check that out. Absolutely amazing. All right, folks, that's going to do it for this edition of Nowhere Videos Road Trips. We're standing out front of a
veteran memorial.
this is a it's a big choo-choo. Okay.
That's what it is.
Yeah, which interestingly enough was built by the Baldwin Locomotive Works. And we just got done looking at the Baldwin Hotel Museum.
I guess we know who owns this town.
Yeah, I can see who's got the money in this place.
See how many Baldwins
How
there
many
are.
Baldwins? You know, don't they have enough money already?
No.
Anyway, got some folks to thank here. We want to thank, not necessarily in any order, we want to thank Todd for helping making the arrangements for us to get in today.
And allowing everything to happen.
Yes. Want to thank Judith, the museum director, for giving us the time of day, basically. And
just one foot in the door.
yeah, get us in the door. And so we definitely enjoyed the exhibit they've got here. And also want to thank, I believe it was Gloria.
Yes.
For
showing us the museum. Not the grand tour. We
kind of condensed it,
yeah,
but
condensed
there's a
version.
lot more to see than what you saw during our show here today.
Yes.
But definitely a must see. I mean, if you love historical buildings, Victorian era artifacts, and basically a fantastic piece of history, I definitely recommend coming down to Klamath Falls and checking out the museum.
This is definitely a fantastic piece of information as far as the history in this area.
And
highly recommended.
The volunteers, which basically everybody here at the hotel are volunteers, and I tell you, a great group of folks. It's been fantastic doing the tour today. So yeah, definitely come down, check it out. And with that, I think that's going to do it.
I think that's about it.
All right.
All right.
So, for Road Trips, I'm Todd Hilton.
I'm Chris DeBois.
We want to thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time for the next edition of Nowhere Videos Road Trips!